Hello, Lucy Hafen again, case manager at California Montessori Project, working in resource. First thing I want to address is communication and language. This is something I have been looking at more this last year than any other year I've been a case manager. And so the first example that I have been looking at this, or I guess first thing, and I have 5 social groups that I've had this last year. That's more social groups than I've ever had. And it's something I need to focus on strongly. And also there is a speech teacher that wants to do the same. And so we're both looking to apply different strategies and a different structure of intervention. So instead of pulling them out of class, we want to pull them kind of, I guess, more push in during lunch and recess time. And we kind of pool our resources and collaborate together on this. So I'm really excited for that. But the most important thing is that if we do this during lunch and recess time, then we will have access to gen ed peers. And that is really important. And I'd like to use a peer management intervention. I think this is going to be highly motivating for the students to practice and generalize when they have a structured interaction with these same age general education peers. I think it's gonna, the research demonstrates that autistic students are able to interact with their peers for a longer period of time, as well as practicing the targeted skills with novel peers afterwards and in a novel setting after they've had these initial intervention opportunities. And so I'm excited to really see that in the lunchtime environment as well as on the playground and at recess. So very exciting for me. And then something else that I want to look at is in helping students deal with negative behavior. We want to reduce the negative behavior, and something I'd like to try more of is using the consult time in the IEP. That is typically, how I as a SPED teacher can consult with the gen ed teachers or TAs or other school providers to help support the student. I want to see if I can use that consult time to employ conjoint behavior consultation with parents. And if the research backs this up, and that's my rationale, is that when there's this communication between parents and teachers about behavior, then there's reported increases in problem-solving competencies and just a better relationship between teachers and peers, and that is what we need, and hopefully to generalize these skills better when we have that consistent communication. So the idea would be to have regular phone calls with parents to consult about these issues. And what kind of put me in this direction is this is something that I do with a BCBA for my daughter who has autism. She's 16, and we've done these bi-monthly Zoom calls with their father and I and the BCBA, and that's been super helpful in terms of making sure that strategies are applied consistently across environments, there's follow-up, and we're able to take on additional problems so that our intervention can evolve, and the way that we respond to needs is current with the concerns that are just ongoing. So I'm excited to try that more. Another thing that I want to take on is perspective taking. I have students that really struggle with that have ASD. And so I have students that just will push and not read social cues, and then not be able to back off when they should be backing down, or listen to teachers and do something else. They just will stick to their, what they want to do. And so I need them to understand other people's perspectives. And so this is something that we've been working on in groups. So video modeling is what I would like to use. Number one, because there are many ways where you could have that perspective taking opportunity, because if you are an actor that's participating, then that is one perspective, depending on which side, either if you're acting as the instigator or the peacemaker or the teacher, then you have different perspectives. If you're acting as the camera operator because you don't feel comfortable as a actor in the little movie or skit, then that's okay too, because you still see, you're still seeing a different perspective because you're holding the camera. And so that is another way where any student's comfort level can be accommodated and they can still get something very valuable out of it. And we can still practice different role plays and scenarios and compare and contrast. And that compare and contrast opportunity with the videos that they're watching themselves or watching their peers, and that could be very motivating to see themselves on camera or see their peers on camera. And I'm really excited to do that in a more structured, systematic way. I want to use lesson plans to help with this, as well as if I align my goal collection measures with a structured curriculum, then and the lesson plans, then hopefully that should provide greater levels of fidelity. And then I do think that fidelity is important, and some of the others, I don't think I talked about fidelity as much, but if I'm going to be working with a speech therapist to help on a lot of these pragmatic skills in the lunch and recess area, then we're going to be able to help each other and support that, because she's got some information, as well as some of the other counseling staff that we have that will be able to help support that as well. And the conjoint behavior consultation, I think consistent note-taking is going to help make sure that we are following a structured agenda that supports the fidelity of the intervention as well. Anyways, thank you so much. Thank you. Bye.